everyone! Thanks for coming by. Get a little closer. No, the camera's locked in place, that's fine. But I'm Michael Swain. I'm here with my good pal, Max Scoville.
Howdy.
Max. And around the office, we've been talking a bit about hype and hype trains and methods of hyping things. Things we're excited about, things that we're so excited about for so long, we sort of lose the capacity to stay excited about them.
How excited for you for Avatar 2?
Right? I mean, a fleshy X-Wing, it's everything I ever dreamed.
It's like Dinotopia, but worse.
Yeah.
No, it's a weird thing. We are very much guilty of sort of fueling the hype train many a times here at IGN, and sorry for that. But other times, things just take so long to come out that we kind of consistently cover them and keep talking about them. Other times, you get like a little info dump, and you just can't stop thinking about something.
Yeah.
But hype, is it good? Is it bad?
Is there a limit?
Yeah.
That's sort of the real thing I want to investigate, especially since we had this, Warner Brothers Montreal leaked this multi-part, get excited for the Arkham game that you know is gonna come. Of course it's gonna come. It's gonna come forever.
I feel like using an advent calendar of sigils is maybe the wrong way to go about it, though.
Maybe, but by the same token, I think it's very fair that you reference, like, we're all about hype, and hype to me is a positive thing. I like, you were talking before we started rolling about things like Last of Us 2, where it comes out and it's great, and just based on the profitability and the impact, the hype train sort of launches itself. It comes from an organic place of people want it, and so there's hype. But then there's this other tactic that we see where there's an artificial sort of process that we are part of to varying degrees to like keep the excitement up. And I'm just wondering, in your time, you've been here much longer than I have, has that window gotten longer and longer, or is that just my perception?
I think how we perceive hype and how we sort of process it changes a whole bunch. I think some studios have gotten very smart. CD Projekt Red is a great one. I think they've taken a page out of Rockstar's book and taken the less is more approach to how they release information and how they comment on things. And the hype surrounding Cyberpunk 2077, I would say, is predominantly it's the audience. It's you guys. It's us too. We're also part of it. But like, I think a lot of it is like people are like, they made The Witcher 3. I'm ride or die for this. And they've been very good at showing kind of choice selections. I think if they'd sort of taken the more, I don't know, maybe the more Ubisoft approach and dumped like 10 screenshots every month and been like, hey, here's 5 new trailers. Oops, a keychain leaked. It would have been considerably less exciting to get like a big, huge reveal at E3.
Right.
To get like to really get less is more, like I still don't know, you know, what's the rest of the iceberg for Cyberpunk? We've seen a teeny tiny bit, and based on sort of their track record, that's great. I would say, you know, Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto 5 are both great examples of that, where you maybe got 2 or 3 major trailers and a couple of screenshots, but for the most part, it's kind of like keeping it quiet, making the audience demand more so that they get more excited when they see something.
Right, and I think it's interesting that you're starting to see more and more examples of that tactic, especially with like streaming shows and especially in the music world, where, I mean, back in my day, you were moving albums and things were like your radio DJ of choice would funnel what you should be hyped about to you. Now you have all these instances where a pop star will just drop an album
Surprise,
out of nowhere.
it's all out.
And it's so interesting how that's such an opposite tactic from Avatar, where you were saying, for example, the concept art almost isn't worth releasing at this. It feels dated, and it's like, yes, we will be interested in your avatar when you avatar, but this artificial feeling of trying to keep the interest going. I wonder if, as someone who covers things that generate hype, do you find yourself having to keep like the narrative threads of various things we're all excited about going longer in your head?
I think hype fatigue is a real thing. I distinctly remember covering the first Watch Dogs, which was, I believe, the first AAA. Well, then it was next gen, but now it's current gen. That was one of the first like PS4, Xbox One games revealed, and it was shown off. It was like, yeah, it's coming to current gen, but there's other stuff around the corner. That was at E3. I want to say 2012 or 13, I can't remember exactly, but it was that big, huge, impressive trailer that wound up to be mostly bull hooey. And the fact that game kept getting more and more little bits of drops and bits of details, and then I think when it was just so close to actually coming out, it got delayed. Yeah. And by the time it actually came out, I had been covering it, done interviews, done previews, done all this stuff, and it was something I was initially very excited about personally. It was a new IP, it could have had so much promise. The game actually came out and I just was like, I'll pass.
And that's the kind of hit he takes for you, you know? That's I think the sacrifice
It's a
of this
fine
work.
game. I know a lot of people who play. I like the second one a lot. I'm not knocking Watch Dogs. I
No,
think
but when you're an
3 is
integral,
cool. Yeah, no.
when you're an integral part of the hype train for long enough.
No, I mean, if you work at a pizza restaurant, you eventually get tired of pizza.
Exactly.
When you work at the video game candy puppy dog fireworks factory, you kind of get tired of all those fun, exciting things. And when you're trying to maintain hype for a certain amount of time, eventually you just kind of, you know?
Well, I wonder, do you think that there is a correct way to run hype around a product? Like, is there a clear answer for whether surprise is more effective right now versus the Star Wars model of just keeping hype at a constant level as long as we can?
Star
or
Wars
does it vary by project?
Star Wars is a tricky one because
Yeah.
I think The Mandalorian was wonderful because it was so much of a big surprise and we didn't know what we were in for, and we got a couple trailers for that, and then when it actually came out, we're like, oh, here it is. This is it. Whereas like all of the expectation of 42 years in the making of the Rise of Skywalker, you know, I don't know. I watched,
arguably hurt the experience for some people.
I don't know.
For me,
there's a difference between expectations and hype too. I think hype is just sort of an enthusiasm. I don't know. I think it's very shrewd to watch the first trailer or the first reveal or whatever that initial teaser is, and kind of gauge your interest based on that. And if you're excited, be excited in private, quietly, but keep your expectations at a reasonable level. And then when the thing actually comes out, engage with it, and hopefully you'll be pleasantly surprised, and then you can be actually excited, and it's not just manufactured hype.
yeah, you'd think you'd become immune at some point, but despite working in the field and being constantly, nipple deep in hype, there is still such a thing as pure organic hype. I know I, for one, and a lot of people in the office just love Cyberpunk 2077 already.
Yeah.
I've lost all objectivity.
It has to be good.
If it turns out it's bad, I won't be able to register that, and I will deny it.
What are we gonna do if it's bad? Are we gonna go outside? Hell no. Anyway, to find out if Cyberpunk 2077 is as good as we think it will be, hopefully, dear God, I hope it's good.
Oh, it's gotta be.
Keep it right here on IGN. We're the ones just shoveling the coal in the old hype train. We'd keep doing it. We're guilty of it, but we're huffing those coal fumes too, buddy. Yes, choo choo, dead ahead. It's console year, my friends. A lot of big games, a lot of hype. Keep it locked.